Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. At this point, I have been creating content on YouTube for about 7 years, long form and short form content. And consistently over the years, there are a couple of questions that find their way to me. One of the questions that I get pretty much every other week is, how do you hang your slabs on the wall behind me? That is a question that I get, and if it is your question, the answer is on RegieCollects.com. If you go to RegieCollects.com, go to the partner page, you will find a couple of partners. One of them is Collector Mount. That is the company that manufactures the mount that I actually use to hang my slabs on the wall. You click the link, you use the code, you can save yourself a couple of bucks. Another question that I repeatedly get is, what book or books are you hunting for? One book that I'm hunting for right now is a Golden Age Human Torch book, specifically an Alex Schomburg cover featuring the Submariner and the Human Torch. Doesn't matter which issue, but if it fits that criteria, that is a book that I want to add to my collection. I don't have many Golden Age books, period, but this is one that I want to add to the collection. In addition to that, there are several other books posted on the whiteboard across the room that I also want to add to the collection. Most of them are upgrades to books that I already have, where I have a 9.2, 9.4. I want a slightly higher grade. In some cases, I want a 9.8. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for wanting a 9.8. There are a couple of books that I really want at that grade. One of them is Blue Marvel issue number 4. I have that at a lower grade. I want a 9.8 because I have the other Blue Marvels at a 9.8, and I absolutely love that story arc. So now you know a couple of books that I'm hunting for to add to the collection. Another question that I repeatedly get from people is, what cons are you attending this year? Insert year here. And I think it's really cool that people ask this question, because I think folks want to know, where am I going to be? Where might I run into you or meet you and all that kind of stuff. I am pleased to announce that I'm going to be at Heroes Con this upcoming weekend. Not quite sure which days or times yet, but I have a pass for the entire weekend, so there may be 2 opportunities where I'm actually down at the con. And I would say stay tuned to social media to see where I'm going to be, and stay tuned to this video a little bit later, because I'm going to tell you something else about Heroes Con. But I'm excited about going to this con because it's right up the street. I don't have to rent a car. I don't have to get a hotel or get on a plane. I can drive a little ways and actually be at Heroes Con in Charlotte. So I'm excited because it is local. I'm also excited because it's a really cool con. I've gone to Heroes Con before, and it is a fantastic experience. So I'm actually looking forward to going again. But another reason why I'm excited is because there is a long list of artists that are going to be, and technically creators, period, writers and artists that are going to be in attendance at this con. Many of them are people that I actually want to meet. And to me, there is something about standing across the table from a creator and getting to meet them and watch them sign your books that you don't get that experience when you buy a book that is already signed, right? It's a different kind of experience. And so to that point, I'm excited to go to meet these creators and also to get some signatures from them. I have a stack of books in front of me and a short box across the room of books that I am potentially going to get signed, and I'm trying to figure out which ones I'm going to get signed, because some of the signatures are pretty expensive. I will tell you that. There are a couple of people that will sign a few books for you raw for free, but many of them charge anywhere from $10 to $20 for a signature. So I'm trying to be strategic about what I actually get signed. But I want to show you some of the books that I'm going to take with me. A small sample of books that I'm going to take with me. This is a series that I absolutely loved, right? It is a 4-part series that I read a couple of years ago. I reread it recently, and I still love it. It is Deathlock issue number 1. This is a 4-part series. I'm trying to find one of the books because I somehow misplaced it in the collection. But a 4-part series, Dennis Cowan did this. He didn't do the cover of this one, but I think he did the interior artwork. He did the covers of some of the others. let me check that. Let me check that to make sure. But Dennis Cowan, I'm looking forward to meeting him and getting the signature on that book because I absolutely loved this story arc, right? If you were collecting comics in the 90s, you probably saw a ton of Deathlock and Punisher and Darkhawk and Spider-Man crossovers. Deathlock was one of those characters that was crossing over consistently in other people's books, and I enjoyed him back then, but I read that story arc, and that's where I was like, Deathlock, at least this version of Deathlock, is the man. Absolutely love it. Couple of other Dennis Cowan books. Here we go. Icon issue number 1. And there are a couple of versions of that. That's one cover, and then here is another cover. I think one of them is like the collector's edition or something like that. But I like Icon. I like Icon. I missed out on that Todd McFarlane Icon toy. The thing was completely sold out. They were selling it for crazy amounts of money on the secondary market. Couldn't do it, but I can get Dennis Cowan's signature on a couple of copies of Icon issue number 1 and Static number 1. This one includes the card on the back. I have the whole thing. I have the whole thing going on with that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Dennis Cowan and getting him to sign a couple of my books for me. I think that'll be a really cool experience. I had the pleasure of meeting this creator several years ago and spending an entire day with him down at CGC, interviewing him, hearing great stories from him and his wife. I am talking about none other than Chris Claremont. And this book is one that I've had multiple copies of over the years. X-Men Annual issue number 14. Just a cool book. Cool book. Those that know all about this one. So I have many other Chris Claremont books in the collection that I could potentially get signed. Several of them are in the short box across the room. But I think I'm going to get him to sign this one for sure. I fell in love with the cosmic landscape back in the 90s. Thanos' Quest was just everything to me. And then Infinity Gauntlet and several of the other kind of cosmic landscape warlock stories that were out. Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin changed a lot of things for me back in the day. And so I have a couple of his books here, including this one right here, Infinity Gauntlet issue number 1. This is a newsstand, but I also have a couple of the direct editions as well. I've just pulled one of them. I have a couple more over there. I also have some Infinity Gauntlet issue number 1 signed by the late George Perez that I found in the 100K collection. And I'm debating whether I have Jim sign one of those or one of these or all of those. Still trying to noodle that just a little bit. And again, Jim Starlin's signature is like $20 each, so I need to be strategic about what I actually get signed, because that's a healthy amount of money, especially if you multiply it by multiple books. So this next one is a cool couple of. There's a couple of cool books here. Jerry Conway, legendary. Creator, no doubt about it. So I pulled a couple of his books. This is Detective Comics 524. And I pulled just 2 copies of that one. But I also pulled Web of Spider-Man. So we have a little bit of DC, and maybe we'll do a little bit of Marvel as well. I have a 9.8 copy of this one as well. I think this is Tombstone's first appearance. So I have a couple of copies of this that I may get his signature on. And again, still trying to process through what I get signed, what I don't. This next one is a cool one. I don't know how much this guy charges. Adam Hughes. Don't know how much he charges. His name's not on the list with a price associated with it, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to do this or not. But this is Eagle 6. And you might wonder, what the heck is Eagle 6? I do believe Adam Hughes's first published artwork is a pinup in this issue right here. And I need to confirm that, make sure, and if the price is right, I might actually get that signed. So, as you would imagine, between this stack and the stack that I allude to across the room, that's a lot of books, right? So not all of these books are actually going to stay in the collection. Many of them will, but I will also tell you that I am thinking about offering these books up for sale to you, watching or whatever, but on the Encore app. Many of you know I set a goal for myself a couple of months ago to sell books on the Encore app to earn my way towards that Human Torch book that I mentioned earlier in this video. And so far I have sold, as of today, 405 books on the Encore app, so we can say that things are going well, right? Selling a lot of books. I think I have like a rating on the site or the app of like 4.99 out of a score of 5. So I think people like the books that I'm offering up because the prices are fair, but I'm also disclosing like all of the defects that I see so that people get the book, they know exactly what they are getting. And by and large, people seem to be very pleased with the transactions that we're doing. So I'm going to be offering some of these books up in order to continue earning my way towards that Human Torch book and potentially some of those other books that are on the wall across the room. So if you are interested, I definitely want to encourage you to stay tuned to the channel, to the social medias, to the Encore app, because these books are going to be made available. I will also tell you that if there's something you're interested in that I've shown, let me know that. If there's a creator that you're like, hey, get a signature from that person potentially on this book, let me know that, because I might have the book in the bin across the room and can pull it and can get the signature and ultimately get it on the Encore app for you to snag. If, you know, fingers crossed if things go right. But I am looking forward to going to Heroes Con. And if you happen to see me at Heroes Con, I'm actually going to be carrying with me a bunch of the Regie Collects Gibbon Gang tokens with me. And so if you see me and if you ask, I may have these tokens with me, if I haven't run out by the point you see me, to give you a copy of it. I have a healthy number of them still. So if you see me, make sure you say hello, let's take a photo, and you could also walk away with one of these cool little medallions. I wish I had one to put right here so you guys could actually see what it looks like, but it's cool. Trust me when I tell you. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you at Heroes Con. Take care.
Turn me up in my headphones a little bit, like I want to feel it, I want to hear it. All right, that's it right there. I spoke. When the sun rise, till it's burned out. No place to recharge, so we gotta learn how. Conversations with OGs, they got dreams that never worked out. So they become masters of dream analysis. They come in the form of barbers and schizos. Warhead with a big nose with his lip.